So as I promised you, the next thing we're gonna do is boots. But first, we may wanna just think about the design here in this skirt-like thing, and also let's see it. This guy has very thin waist. This guy has a very thick waist, not so thin. So what we're gonna do is make this a little bit thinner. How? It's not very difficult, but first we want to do a few things. First, I'm gonna go to the belt and make it low poly, make a low poly version of the belt. We would want to delete also the 3D sketch, we don't want it. And what else to delete? Okay, we have something here. We can delete this also. Okay, so we select the waistband or something, wherever it is. We select it and then we duplicate it. Then with Shift click on this eye of the active tool, we can show and hide everything. We want just those two to be shown. Then we go here and zero mesh one of them, the bottom one, and the top one will remain. So when the zero mesh finished, we'll start projecting. So we'll have a low poly version of this belt with a high poly with all the details. And I say belt, it's not exactly a belt, but it's something like a belt. Okay, it's done, so we can see it. Not very beautiful, and but it's cool. So Control D, which is subdividing. We can subdivide from here also. Lower S, the lower free subdivide. Divide is Control D. You can see Control D, subdivide mesh. But what we want is project. So only two of those tools are visible. They have eyes, only those two. So we'll subdivide and project all. Subdivide again, project all, subdivide, project, and let's see what's happening. Subdivide and project. Even with solo mode on, it's still projecting. So now I think we can subdivide one more time and project, and a little bit more weighting, because as much polygons we put, as much subdivide, the more we'll weight. That's completely normal. So I'll smooth a little bit and then delete the upper one, and I will now have this. With Shift D I'll go down, and with D I will go up with the subdivisions. So now I'll show everything, and we should do the same for the boots and for the pants. But now let me show you just a little bit how we will proceed with posing the character. But we will not pose it now, we will just make the waistline a little bit thinner. But how? We'll go to Z plugin and transpose master, yes. So Z plugin, transpose master, T-pose mesh. We click it and we wait. What ZBrush will do is get every subtool in the lowest subdivision and then merge all of those lower subdivision tools in one, like you can see, one subtool here. So now it's very easy to go ahead, mask the hands, so we don't want to move the hands. Mask them, go to symmetry, and then just gently make this thinner. And now it looks a little bit more like it has to be. Also we can make him a little bit like this. And again, probably a little bit more, the thinness. And now we're moving everything together, which is pretty cool, because if we move some parts, just them alone, it could lead to some problems. But now we are pretty much done. So it was just a little tiny bit, and now we want to go back and having those tools those changes. So how can we do that? Let me see if this is enough. I think it's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more. Tiny bit. Okay. That will be enough. I would want also to fix this because you see the chainmail cannot go like this. It's soft, so it will fall. It cannot go like this. It will fall down. But here, in this mode, it's not a good idea to make it, so we'll make it here. Zip plugin, zip pose. We just want to go back. So first button is to go to this mode. We make our changes, make the pose or something, whatever we want, and then we go back. Something is skipped, we don't care. Maybe there's a hidden geometry. When there's a hidden geometry in some tool, sometimes it gets skipped. Okay. And now ZBrush is just adjusting everything, and it's done for some seconds. Yeah, the problem was this subtool because the legs were hidden. So what I'll do is just erase the legs. I'll del hidden because I have enough of those legs. Let me see. Okay, I have lower subdivision on the body, which is nice. I will do this. Freeze subdivisions. Okay, it's partly hidden. So I will show everything. Freeze subdivisions. Hide this. Hide the legs completely. Then del hidden. And then freeze subdivisions. I will press it again. And it will try to... and most of the time it succeeded in just reprojecting the mesh and just... let's see. Yeah, everything is back to normal. And we don't have the legs now. They were just... they were not good for us. We are better without them. So I will go a little bit lower on subdivision just to fix this. And like I said, we will continue with the boots, but first I need to do this kind of things in order to continue, because sometimes when the model is near completion I forget this kind of things. And now I'm in this stage, I remember it that I'm here, and I will just make it work. So this, I wanted to go nearer the pants. It looks good when it's creating a silhouette a little bit, but it's not exactly right. It couldn't be like this, so it will fall a little bit like that. And here probably a little bit like this, because it's heavy. It will fall like this on this folds of the pants. So let me just... Where am I? Okay, here. I want to see... Okay. I thought that there is something here, but there is nothing. Because we have... Okay, but when we get to decimate it, it looks pretty nice. Although it could be better. Yeah, there are a little bit of here and there things. Let's just try to get them out of this a little bit. Okay. Yeah, we have part of the geometry here. I see it. I see it now. Maybe we can delete it. What is this? This is something strange. But I want to select the inner part. This. Oops. Poly. Okay, I cannot select it. I'm selecting everything else but this, which is a little bit confusing. But obviously we have this thing, which is not great. Let's solo it and move it to the other side, double, and try to catch it from there. If I can select it, I'll be able to remove it. So let's try like this. Select this, move back. Okay, and then just try to remove all of those guys. But first, grow. Grow. Then remove this. And then grow again. And that's a clever way of selecting only this. Then reverse selection and del hidden. Then the same we will make in the other side. Like this. Okay, then grow. Then remove this. Then grow again. Then remove this. Then grow again. Invert selection and del hidden. Let's see it now. A little bit better. Okay. So what we want to do now is start the boots. How do we do the boots? We go to the boots and see. Let's just enlarge them. I want to see them up close. So I'm not sure what happens in the side of the boots, but still I'm pretty confident that we can do them without knowing exactly what's happening there. So first we want to make sure that everything is fine here, and then we'll make thickness, or yeah, thickness will be nice. But since we don't want to have the inside part of this thickness, we'll do something a little bit tricky, which I will show you now. A little trick that I do sometimes for the clothes, just in order to not have such a big number of geometry. Okay, we go here, extrude all polygons, go inside, then flip it, and then we go solo, select the inner part, reverse the selection, and then del hidden. We don't want the inner part because it's never been seen. It will never be seen, and now we have what we deserve. I will just inflate a little bit at some points, and then let's which is divide. Let's try with crease 1. Okay, looks fine. And then I will apply the dynamic subdivisions. I don't risk anything by applying it because I always can go to the lowest subdivision, del the highest subdivisions, and do whatever I want, as I haven't been applying the subdivisions at all, which is good. So this is our boot. I will go to this one and just push those things inside, because they are a little bit of pain in the back area, lower back, even below the lower back. As you know, there's an area below the lower back that is called a butt. And this is a very funny area for some people, because everyone thinks that this is something that is not good to be said, or you know, you call with the name of this area people who you don't like too much, who are making your life miserable, like your boss, for example. You can call him the bottom of the back. Yeah, some bosses are not like that. My boss is not. He is not an ass. Ass is also a donkey, I think. So it means a lot of things. This very, very cool word. Word, not world. but it could be world. I'm adjusting here this because it needs some adjustment. And now I can make some little wrinkles, not but faults here in this area, because this is the area where the food is bending, and obviously there will be a form of faults in there. I would want to take this part here, all of these, and deflate it a little bit because I don't want to mess with it so much anymore. Let's try that without the sole. Okay, this one, and deflate. I think this will do. Okay, so the other boot, we will just mirror this to the other, so it's not exactly a problem of any kind. The boots are a little bit different than I've made it. You have this kind of thing going up a little bit. Very cool boots in the concept, and ours are also starting to look pretty nice, so I'm happy about it. Sometimes even in kind of professional guys like myself, some things are happening very easy and without any issues. Other times, even that we are very experienced and everything, some things just require a little bit more work, and they don't exactly happen as we wanted. And this particular cases, it's best if you have time to start all over again from scratch, and most of the time it works. But we don't have too much time these days, so obviously sometimes just things are good, not the best, just good, which, like I said, in most cases is pretty much enough, especially for projects that just have to be made quickly and with enough quality. We're not searching for perfect quality, we're searching for enough and just a fast and efficient workflow. Most of the time this is the case in when we're making some games or whatever, and I mostly work for games. Sometimes I do some stuff for 3D printing, but mostly work for games. So in our field you have to be with good enough quality, but you know, maybe you should say, okay, why not perfect? Because to be perfect you will need a lot of time, and time in most cases, when we're making a lot of characters for one game, for example, one game, you have to make like 40 characters for it, and you have limited time. You have just 1 week for a high poly and 1 week for a low poly, for example. And yeah, for this time is pretty much enough for an experienced artist to make a very nice model. Maybe not like this. This model will take you probably a little longer, the high poly especially. I mean, this tutorial will be around probably 30 hours. But it's 30 hours non-stop work. When you're in a studio environment, at work and something, you cannot work the whole 8 hours you're at work. It's not possible almost. I can do this. I can work for 8 hours, just non-stop, with a little break, for example, for lunch, little breaks for toilet, and every hour break for just walking, not sitting on a computer all day, because it's super hard. It's not very nice. So with all those breaks, I can work for 8 hours, but for example 1 or 2 days, then I will be completely exhausted. So most of us work like let's say 4 to 5 hours a day. So if this is 30 hours, you'll need 6 working days, if you're not slacking, just to finish this. And yeah, it's pretty much a lot. So 6 only for the high poly, and if you know exactly what you're doing, which is not always the case. Sometimes you're just wondering, okay, this, do I want it to be like this or like this or whatever? So you're just sometimes wondering, and that's not very efficient. That's why I'm saying sometimes 1 week is not enough, especially if the character is very complicated. Like this character is pretty complicated. I've made a lot of characters, and this is one of the not simple ones, one of the most complicated ones. For example, I can do a simple cartoon character with some clothes and a little bit of hair. I can do it for 2 working days, the high poly, with no real problems, if I work hard. But a model like this, a little bit more. 3 times more. Maybe more than 3 times. For some people, not that experienced, for example, it could take a couple of weeks even to make this kind of character. And it will not be the quality that an experienced artist will bring you. But that's normal. That's normal. This is completely normal. So I'm trying to replicate here. We have something like this, but I'm not sure I will be able to do it. Alright, this for now is enough. Let's continue in the next video, because now we are out of time, and yeah, it will start to look pretty good. So until the next one.